Peace to the family. Peace, love, and light. Without back, Yassar. You know what I'm saying? A type of shove. You know what I mean? And Nur. One Nur. Peace, love, and light. Jumping into the science right now. We're just building this Friday, the day of love, and all that. You know, the Venus Oceanic energy. You know, so it's about showing love and receiving love, you know what I'm saying? And building, for me, I do it out of love, you know what I'm saying? I love to do what I'm doing. I love to live to learn again, you know what I'm saying? So I just want to share, you know what I'm saying, a few nuggets for the day. Keep people on a certain frequency. Shout out to those that's in tune, you know, with open minds and understanding that, you know, we're never here to hurt, harm, or cause confusion, you know what I'm saying, but merely bring peace, love, justice, and mercy, and right, you know what I'm saying, along the way. So with that being said, we're going to jump into part 3, is God, the devil, and the Bible. We're going to break down some other sciences along the way too, my add on, so out of love, you feel me? So, because there's different aspects you can read this book from. That's one thing I want people to understand. That's why I'm trying to use the literary sense for people that's more literal and want to read this book word for word, because I'm learning along the way too. I ain't know everything. As I got older, I started reading it and reading it more to really what it's saying on a literal sense, not like, you know, the spiritual, take out the religion and all the preacher have the extra allegorical shit and all of that, and just read it. You feel me? Like a comic book, you know what I mean? And so, you know, doing things like that and then going back reading it from a linguistic standpoint, the language, you know what I'm saying, replacing these certain words with what they, you know what I'm saying, where they translated the scriptures from, you know what I'm saying, took the certain words from and made it mean something else, you know what I'm saying? So you got to understand that. That's linguistically, you know what I'm saying, through languages. You know what I'm saying, when you trace back these certain words and you figure out that, damn, that don't mean that. Oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Then you start to understand. You might look at it through an astrological standpoint, because this is, you know what I'm saying, Helios Biblios, little book of the sun. You know what I'm saying? It's an astrology book. You know what I'm saying? So you could look at this book astrologically. You know what I'm saying? Then you could look at it esoterically. You know what I'm saying? Numerology. It's so many different ways that this book can be viewed, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, most of the people in America, a lot of the women, you know, brothers too, but a lot of the women is under a heavy spell, because all this is spells. This is a book of spells. You know what I'm saying? All these words have been spelled, right? You can't cast a spell without spelling the word. Words carry spirits, you know what I'm saying? And so you got to be careful what you reading and how you perceiving it, how you reading it, because it's like hieroglyphs, it's like ideographs, you know what I'm saying? There's other meanings underneath, you know what I'm saying, what you're reading. But from a literal sense, it says, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. We'll take it back to the beginning. So right there, in the beginning. So they talking about the beginning, literally, you know what I'm saying? That God. Notice it's saying God. It ain't say the Lord God. It ain't say Lord. It ain't say none of that. It said God. Now, understand, we know that's plural, right? For Elohim, through the linguistic standpoint of view. And so it's multiple dudes. It's multiple gods, basically. You feel me? It's multiple gods right there. You feel me? So in the beginning, these multiple dudes created the heaven and the earth, right? And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters and said, let there be light. And there was light. Stop. Who's telling this story? Who's telling the story? Because it's like, if it was one singular dude, God, telling the story, why would he be saying in the beginning, God? He'd be saying in the beginning, I, God, you know what I'm saying? Me, he's going to want to take credit because he the motherfucking maker and maker and all this other shit. So why is it like a third person writing this shit, or somebody else writing it? And if they writing it, how could they write it if they're not in humanoid-like type of form? Because the only creatures on this planet that can write shit is humans, basically. Like, I ain't seen no lizards. And maybe a reptilian in human form may have wrote it because they in water. The story's saying that God was hovering above the waters. So whoever writing the story is seeing this within the waters. A reptilian humanoid being, maybe, right? Because they said the serpent was in the garden, right? And Where did serpent come from? God created all the creatures and shit like that, right? Okay, so somebody else was already here, basically, if you really look at the story from a literal sense, because somebody else is writing the story. But what this may mean on a more plagiarized level, where they jacked it from, this whole concept of, in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters, and God said, let there be light. Feel me? And there was light. So that whole concept right there is really a Kemetic concept, not Egyptian, but most people know it as Egypt. But it's not an Egyptian concept, because that's somebody else's standpoint of view of how they interpreting what the Commissioners were saying. So I like to look at it from what the people that actually made it up were saying. So the Commissioners was basically breaking down at that point, expansion and contraction, vibration, noon and Nunet, the waters, you know what I'm saying, and Hek and Haket, and Ket and Kaket, and motherfucking Amen and Amenet, which would be the light. You know what I'm saying? The sun, Ra. Ra's the light. So Amen and Amenet, let there be light, and he saw that the light was good. Then he divided it. Amen, Amenet. These certain principles, you feel what I'm saying? Feminine and masculine principles to the sun. You know what I'm saying? Or to light, should I say? Because this is another form of light right here. This ain't the sunlight right here. I just want motherfuckers to know that this is really angelically, you feel me? Beings coming into light form. Because man was created on another plane before he was created in the physical realm, and so was woman. You feel me? You feel me? So this is what we talking about, right? So, but anyway, from the literal sense, this God dude was hovering above the waters, and somebody saw this shit from in the water, right? Saw that he made it light, saw that he divided it up, and the light from darkness, right? And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and the evening and the morning were the first, right? And God said, let the firmament in the heaven in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters, and all of that. So he's doing a lot of separation, like I said, noon and Nunet, Het and Kaket. You feel me? Amen, Amenet, noon. You know what I'm saying? These different principles of masculine and feminine energy of expansion and contraction, masculine and feminine energy of the law of vibration, masculine, because you can't exist without these things. So these are like your elementary ancestors. You know what I'm saying? These are your ancestors. You know what I'm saying? That's a part of you. That's why people can manipulate wind and do certain things. The Chinese motherfuckers with the chi shit and all that, manipulating the wind and doing things like that, because you are the fucking wind, really. You feel me? You is the sun. You is the earth. You is all of these different things. That's why your feet, you get grounded when you walk on the ground. That's why we didn't wear shoes and different things or whatever back in the African ancient times and all that, because we was more grounded and connected to things around us. You know what I'm saying? So it's really no magic. It's just that you know that when you know that you are everything and everything is you, and you know that you are all, you feel me? You start to be able to manipulate these things, you know what I'm saying? Because this is the realm of illusion, right? But just to say, so now we know that he's creating all these things, the herbs. He saw that it was good, boom, saw that it was good. We're going to skip through all of that. We're going to get to the juicy part, because when you're talking about making man, right? On the 6th day. So God said, let us make man in his image and after our likeness. Right there lets you know that the God thing was a plural thing. It was multiple gods. So motherfuckers running around, and this is why God don't got the power, though. The God that motherfuckers in this Bible following and all that, he don't got the power to beat Satan and all that shit, or stop Satan like that and all of that. Obviously, because the devil and them got their own fucking powers, and it's gods that is gods with him. As you can see, let us. It's other motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Simple, right? Simple. It's a bunch of them. You know what I'm saying? That's why you could worship many gods. Look at the motherfucking Indian shit, the niggas with the dots on their head that worship Shiva and all that, and Krishna and all those different shit. And the gods that they worship be disfigured with mad arms and all. And then look at the people that be born in India with the disfigured feet coming out their chest and all that shit. This is reality, because that's the gods that they worship, and so that's the beings that's, you know what I'm saying? But that's another level, right? But just to throw that out there, that there's different type of gods. You know what I'm saying? Like, there has to be multiple gods because it said, let us, right, make man in our image. So somebody's being made in the image of some other type of God, right? In the image of them and after the likeness of them, right? So, man, too. They're using the term man. So understand, man in the Bible doesn't really mean Adam. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta understand that. But we're gonna take it as Adam because this is the literal sense. So God's making this man in his image and after his likeness. This is what he's doing right here. Whatever man he making right here, he making them in his image and after his likeness, right? And let him have dominion over the fish of the sea and fowls of the air, cattle all over the earth, blah, 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 blah. God blessed and said unto them, be fruitful. Let me rewind it real quick. 27, Genesis 27 says, so God created man in his image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. That sounds like a bunch of fuckery, right? Like, who understands what the fuck that really means? Now, we can get into that. That's what I'm saying. This from a literal sense, right? It sounds like some goddamn hermaphrodite shit going on. Like, motherfucking creature that whatever was made had all the sexes, and somehow, like, he separated the sexes or something. Look, it's male, he, female, you know what I'm saying? He created them. So somehow the energy of one thing became male and female. But this is not Adam and Eve. So somewhere on another plane, man and woman was created. Basically, because it's telling you right here the female was already there. But it wasn't in physical form, and neither was the man. But man was being made in the image and after the likeness of these gods, right? And he said, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. Replenish it. So that meant if you got to replenish something, that's saying clean it up, do it over again, fill it up again. You know what I'm saying? So it was already, motherfuckers had to be around and all that shit, or something was already here, beings was already here. Like I told you, niggas must have been in the waters writing that shit, these reptilian beings. And they seen this shit floating up above them and all of that and whatever. And these niggas came down and they start popping off their own shit in somebody else's territory, right? Or whatever, right? Because where the fuck did God come from? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's another story. Where these gods come from. But that's another story, right? Be fruitful and multiply, because they say in the heavens, they'll tell you in the book where these motherfuckers come from and all that. But we're going to get into that. Multiply the fish, living things, every beast of the field, and every creeping thing that upon the earth, I've given earth green herbs for meat. Green herbs for meat. So that's why we not supposed to, the beings wasn't supposed to be eating flesh, whoever these beings was blind. God saw everything that he made, and behold, it was very good. And on the 6th day of the morning, right? So now we're going to go into Genesis 2. Because in Genesis 2, the words change. Right? Now it goes into Genesis 2, thus the 6th day of the earth, heavens and earth were finished, and all the host of them. You know what I'm saying? And on the 7th day, God ended his works which he had made. And he rested on the 7th day from all his works which he had made. And God blessed the 7th day and sanctified it, because that's the day he had rested on. Then it goes in to say, these are the generations of the heaven and earth when they were created, in the day the Lord God made the earth and the heavens. You know what I'm saying? Now we know from a linguistic point you're talking about Yahweh Elohim. You feel me? That specific God. You know what I'm saying? Lord God. And every plant in the field, in the earth, but when he went up to the midst of the ground, the Lord God formed man from the dust of the ground. So the Lord God formed man from the dust of the ground, while the gods, the God, Elohim, plural, there's a bunch of them, those dudes made them in the image and the likeness. Feel me? So now you can see that it's kind of some different creation going on, because somebody being formed in the dust of the ground. But if you want to take it from a literal sense and make it all seem like it's the same person, cool, right? You're going to tie that shit in, the other old shit that they said in one, in with the shit right here to make it literal, right? So he created him in the image and likeness. Then he formed him from the dust of the ground. So now he must be coming into physical form. Feel me? Whatever form he was in before, light type shit. He wasn't physical. Now he must be coming into physical form according to this book, from a literal sense. Because he formed him from the dust of God, breathed into his nostrils, and man became a living soul. So he wasn't a living soul at first. Man wasn't a living soul. He was just made in the image and the likeness after God. But he wasn't a living soul, basically, until he breathed into the nostrils, feel me, of the brother, right? Planted him in the garden, in the ground. Told him about the tree of good and evil, basically. The tree is also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of good and evil. And the river went to Eden. This then when he started talking about he's found the gold, and the gold was good. You know what I'm saying? So he found some gold. You know what I mean? Like God didn't make gold, he found it. Motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? So he found some gold in a certain land. Because now he's going from land to land. It's telling you basically Havilah and all these different lands. The different rivers, the Euphrates and all of this shit. He's going through different territories, basically where people must have been, or beings, or whatever was already inhabited in the fucking spots. You know what I'm saying? And so he goes into these spots, he finds some gold, and gold that was good. So there must have been a such thing as bad gold. You did? There had to be a such thing as bad gold if he found gold and the gold was good. And so basically, while he did all of this, let's get into 16. So as he created all this stuff, found the gold, set up shop in this Eden, a certain territory we know today to be Iraq and all of that type of territory, whatever it is. But so they claim. But anyway, it says here, 16, and the Lord God commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou may eat freely, but the tree of knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of. For in the day that thou shalt eat it, thou shalt surely die. Now this is a commandment from God, way before the 10 Commandments, before Moses of evil was even around, basically according to this book. So the first laws was basically don't eat from the tree. You know what I'm saying? The first fucking commandment that God made up, that man was supposed to follow and listen to, was don't eat from the tree of good and evil, or you surely gonna die. Right? I gave you a commandment. You heard? This was one of God's commandments. Then he said, and the Lord God said, it is not good. So God likes shit that's good. He said, it is not good for man to be alone. I will make him a helpmeet for him. So I'm going to make him somebody that's for him. Right? Right? And out of the ground, the Lord God formed every beast of the field. So basically, she wasn't even around yet. And when he made the commandment to my man and told man, listen, bro, don't eat from that tree right there, Lord. You feel me? Like I fucked you up. The lady wasn't even around. So you see how easy it was for the serpent, they say in the Bible, that came out of nowhere, walking and talking. Because this serpent was walking and talking, so he had to be some type of creature in the water that was able to write this shit or scribe this shit down or be able to perceive this shit and tell the story. You know what I'm saying? Got to be a reptilian creature somewhere in this, right? And then whoever these Yahweh dudes is, they got to be some type of humanoid dudes too, because he was walking in the cool of the garden. You know what I'm saying? Asking questions and shit. Like, he ain't know everything. You feel what I'm saying? And he was creating shit. So he had to make shit. He just couldn't snap his finger and it was. He had to actually do some shit to get it popping. Form some shit from dust to grounds and all of that. Like, you feel me? So, nah, this nigga's not that magical. You feel what I'm saying? And he can't stop his adversary, basically. You see what I'm saying? His adversary be fucking shit up and all this other shit. Like, you see what I'm saying? So this nigga got some powers. Satan got some powers. How the fuck Satan chilling with God's sons? Go read Job. The nigga chilling with God's sons. He with God's sons. When they come see God, they walking with Satan. And God like, yo, where you coming from? Still questioning motherfuckers like he don't even know where this nigga was at. Like, damn, nigga, I ain't seen you in years. Where you coming from? So you building with the nigga. Then you make a deal with this nigga and a bet with this nigga. You know what I'm saying? That this nigga can't get your best motherfucking human down on earth, the mortal down on earth, to curse you. It's a bet. It's a friendly little bet. It's a game. It's gambling. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the fuck. You took a gamble. You know what I'm saying? But gambling is a sin. But you making bets. You heard? Nigga made a bet on a nigga. Read it. I'm not making this up. Go read Job. The book of Job. You feel me? And read it from a literal sense. Don't try to add all that other shit in. The nigga walked up in the building, in the spot where God was chilling at, and motherfucking Satan was with the sons of God. It says sons, so God got a lot of sons. Jesus Christ is not his only goddamn son, because it says sons. You see what I'm saying? Adam was his goddamn son. You feel me? And even then, in the beginning, you feel what I'm saying? It was other motherfuckers there. So maybe it was his sons there because it was God's. You know what I'm saying? You just got to look at the story from a broader standpoint of view if it's literal like that. You dig what I'm saying? But overstand, it is what it is. Make sure y'all get in tune. We're going to keep tapping in, breaking down the Bible from a galactic standpoint of view. But we're reading it from a literal sense. And I hope that, you know, this Bible, special ed Bible study remedial class is very helpful to those that's, you know, in depth into Christianity and following and subscribing to certain doctrines. And like, this is just the beginning. I'm not only just going to build on Christianity. It's going to be Islam and, you know what I'm saying, all the different religions, you know what I'm saying? Because when you rely on religion, you rely on a jinn, you know what I'm saying, religion. But understand, the true religion is tapping back into your ancestors, because everything is through blood, and blood is information, and it's through cellular memory. It's how you tap back into your ancestors. That's the true religion, to do over religios, you feel me? Overstand. So it's the galactic one, and with another one, y'all traveling in harmony on this day of love. Peace.